Take home the trends for up to 50% off. The experts agree. These viral picks are exactly what your space needs. Save on the decor and products that fit your aesthetic for a fraction of the price. Plus, earn rewards while you shop.
Paul, can you hear me?
Hi, Charlie. Sorry,
How you
hold on a
doing?
minute. Hi, Charlie. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Sorry.
All right. And
Did our
that,
guest come on yet? Is she
yeah,
on?
Michael's
Are
pretty.
you going to let her?
Michael's
Huh?
pretty.
Thank you.
All right.
How you
I got
doing?
to go. Yes. I will talk to you soon. Okay. Bye. Hello there. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so glad you reached out to me.
Absolutely. So this is Charlie. Charlie is really our family. And Charlie started this podcast in honor of my son, Andrew, who as you know, we lost because Charlie knew Andrew. So he wanted to do something. And we've been doing this for over a year now. We bring on a lot of guests. So I so appreciate that, we were able to connect. So Charlie, she also lost her daughter to fentanyl poisoning, but it was in marijuana. And we actually connected through another page of a lot of parents who lost their children the same way. And I did ask them if they wanted to come on, because I think what needs to happen, because I'm so sick and tired, and Charlie, I say this all the time, of people telling us that this is not how we lost our children.
Yeah, it's it could, especially with you all hearing it, that's a little aggravating, stressful. And at some cases it could be fighting words. It's so sickening, that someone's trying to um kind of theory without practice. You guys have gone through it, and they're just saying so many outlandish things that, if I'm getting angry, I know you two are, and many others are getting angry because it's just nerve wracking. I hate people that don't practice what they preach. And in this case, it's a real fatality on both cases, on many cases, and it gets sickening. So
Absolutely.
we are muted just so you know.
Okay.
It will go live in 2 minutes, and then I'll play the song. But I just wanted to let you know that we can just talk.
Yeah, so kind of what we do, just to let you know, is that we'll introduce you. We'll just we'll say whatever it is you'd like us to say, because we never like to push any of the parents. We let you speak about your child the way you want to. We do have a pretty good following, and sometimes people will ask questions in the chat, which you obviously will be able to see, but it's whatever you feel comfortable talking about. It's amplifying the message. It's talking about your beautiful daughter, who I know is around you. And OMG, you guys are twins. I swear, like, I'm looking at you and I know the picture from your Facebook page is like, wow.
I got it from her.
I love that.
I did. I got it from her. If you'd have seen me 6 months ago, I was knocking on death's door.
Wow.
Yeah. Trust me, I know. Charlie,
I had to gain 50 pounds.
Oh,
man.
Girl, you see my picture on Facebook, right? That picture is from a party I just went to just this past December, and it was like one of those photo thingy doos that the DJs have, and I'm like, oh my God, I actually look real good here. I don't even have to do a filter. I'm like, shit, why can't I look like this all the time?
Oh gosh, I know. I feel the same way. Are we posting this for the
Yeah,
it's live.
It'll be
on my page? Yes. Because there's Did we do that? The link, or should I?
Can you can let people know? Charlie, can we post it to her page? Do you have her Facebook?
We're not connected as friends yet, so we couldn't
Okay,
do it.
let me
We got
look.
we got 10 seconds. What I could do is share it on Paula's page, then you can share it. Paula,
Yes,
just
because
make
we're
sure that
friends,
it's,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
There we
Oh,
go.
we're taking the glasses off because of the glare. Ooh, hold on, Charlie, don't go live yet. I gotta get my earrings out of my
We're already live. I'm sorry. That's what the clock's for.
Listen, everyone knows women put a lot of stuff.
All right. Take two. Hold on one second.
In a world of shadows, we seek the light. Stories untold, voices that ignite. With hearts wide open, we tread the line for those we love. Their stories intertwine. Save a life, hold on tight. Through the darkness, we will fight. In memories, they shine so bright. For the Lord.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fentanyl Facts and Stories with myself, Charlie Perry, and Paula Santos Young. And our guest here is going to get introduced by Paula today because Paula knows all the scoop, all the bios. And so we're going to let Paula introduce our guest. Um, and this is the first time I'm meeting her, and she's already impressed me in about 3 minutes. So I can't wait. We're going to have fun. It's going to be a good evening. And feel free to find us on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on the Really Charlie podcast channel. And also share this podcast. The more, the merrier, and the more comments. It just shows that there's an interaction here, especially with these great guests coming on. It's nice that we're able to interact with people throughout the 30 minutes to an hour. Okay. All right, Paula. Lights,
So
camera, action.
I know this time I'm actually ready because my husband already told everyone that I'm always unprepared. Um, I want to thank all of you for always joining us. We thank you so much because we always talk about this, right? We talk about the messaging, we talk about the awareness, the prevention, the education of the fentanyl crisis that is continuing. Although many of you are hearing that the numbers are going down, I will say some of it is true. And the reason I say some is because remember, we have had many people on here from, the fire chiefs to people in the medical industry who have indicated that some of the numbers that are being accounted for, they're not actual factual numbers because that medical examiners are not providing the numbers because the reports aren't finished. So let's just say, first and foremost, yes, it is positive that more people are using Narcan. It is positive that some of the numbers are going down, and we are so wonderful that that's happened. But let's not take our foot off the gas because it's not to the extent of where it's gone away. Tonight's guest is an angel mom, and she lost her daughter, her absolutely beautiful daughter, Gabby. And I actually just met her a couple days ago. And, as I always say to all of you, when you're in this journey and you're thrown into this club that no one wants to be part of, you come across these beautiful, amazing people that have nothing but unconditional love for you, even if they live in a different state, which she does. And as you all know, I'm here in Massachusetts, but it's the resilience that you're going to see from us parents coming together and really amplifying the message. And the message today that we're going to talk about, because it's really come front and center. And I've talked to Charlie about this, and I'm going to really be very blunt with all of you. all of you know how we lost Andrew. And unfortunately, Gabby passed away the same way, unexpectedly. I am sick and tired of hearing that fentanyl is not in marijuana. And what I will continue to say to all of you is I'm going to continue to bring people like Gabby's mom and others, including chemical scientists, who are going to continue to tell you the message that we've been talking about. So for those out there who continue to think that this doesn't happen, the only thing I will say to you is when you are hearing that weed is being sprayed with synthetics, then why the hell don't you think that it can be sprayed with fentanyl or that fentanyl can be sprinkled on it? Stop, because you are degrading the families like myself and Gabby's mom and so many others to tell us that our children did not pass away in the manner that they did. Because I think that she will agree with me, if we could snap our fingers, we would have our children back here. So I'm going to turn it over to this beautiful, amazing mom. And look how gorgeous she looks. Like me, I just put on a sweater and I'm here. You look like you just came off the runway of New York.
You gave me a reason. You gave me a reason to get dressed today.
Yes.
Well, why don't you tell your story and tell us all about, anything you feel comfortable with. And please be blunt and speak any way you want to speak, because I think it's time that us parents really come together and amplify this message.
Well, on July 19th, 2020, my daughter received fentanyl-laced marijuana. She was somewhere she was not supposed to be, like teenagers often do. They trust the wrong people. She thought that she was in somewhere safe, that she could trust. I don't know. She just trusts people so freely. She loved people so freely. This actually, I feel like there's so many ways that she was failed. The person that actually gave her this was supposed to be in prison. They were let out for COVID and put on house arrest. Sorry.
No.
Take your time.
Do not apologize.
They were placed on house arrest and they broke their house arrest. They violated that multiple times. I feel like if they would have never, he was actually out. He was supposed to be in jail for his part in the murder of another child. I knew his family from church. I prayed over his mother when she was going through all of this. I actually laid my hands on her and prayed for her son. And I would do it again. I pray for them. I pray for the people that are responsible for this. I forgive them. But just because you forgive someone does not mean that they will not pay the consequences of their actions. Unfortunately, I feel like the law has failed my child. She did not receive a proper investigation, even though it was a suspicious death. And she was underage, and there was 3 adults in the house, and none of them were held responsible. There was nothing. I feel like I was failed there. She shouldn't have been there, and I understand that, and her actions are her own. Our children are going to do things that they're not supposed to do.
So true.
We just have to love them through it. But we received a phone call. I think it was like around 10:45 that night. My daughter, Madison, came flying into my bedroom, and she said, something's wrong with Gabby. And I said, what's wrong? And she said, well, she's had a seizure. We need to get to the hospital. They called the ambulance to come and get her, to take her to the hospital. And I said, well, stay calm, Madison. She has seizures. It happens, you know. I was not thinking anything besides the fact that I was going to go to the hospital, and I was going to pick my child up and make sure she was okay, pick her up, and we were going to come back home. And that didn't happen. We went to the people's house because when I was like, well, let's call Gabby and see if she's okay so she can talk to us, you know. I called the phone, and this man picked up her phone. And I was like, who is this? And why do you have my daughter's phone? And he said she left in an ambulance and left it here. And I was like, I'm on my way. Get all of her stuff together, whatever her belongings are, and I'm on my way to come and get them now. So I flew there. I got to that house, I want to say, in like 8 minutes. And when I was picking her book bag and all of her stuff up, I saw the look of horror on their faces, but I wasn't registering. And it didn't register to me what was going on because they wouldn't tell me. They didn't tell me that my daughter actually had died in their yard. They didn't tell me that I'm sorry, I can't go into the details of that. But
No.
Gosh, they didn't tell me anything. The mom pulled me aside. She said, I'm really sorry that you're going through this. And I was like, my daughter has seizures. It's a part of her, is she just does. And so I was really confused. And I just wanted to get to my daughter. And so I was trying to hurry, but my daughter Madison went and was like screaming and yelling, like talking to this guy, and was like, you know, she was adamant, like, what happened, you know, and I was like, come on, Madison, we gotta go pick Gabby up, this, that, and the other. And the guy was like, no, you don't understand. It's not what the parents were telling me lies. And he was saying other things to my daughter at the same time. And so we jumped in the car, we rushed up there to the hospital, and we sat and we sat and waited for, like, it felt like an eternity. And my daughter Madison was going crazy because that's her best friend. And she was just really, really upset. She felt in her heart. She kept saying some of the most negative things. And I was like, Madison, please don't say that. They came in, and all of these people just filled this room, and they told me, they started asking me questions like, where was your daughter? You know, and I said she was supposed to be with a friend from church. The man's niece. And they informed me that my daughter had been seeing this man, a grown man, and that they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and then my daughter had went and stayed over there with him, and that's when it happened. And I was like, I couldn't even hear everything they were saying. I was blown away. I was in shock that they would even say something like that. And I was like, I know my daughter, you know, but then I was like, well, she is a teenager and they do dumb stuff. And she ended up, I think the parents said that she asked the father if she could help him do something, like fix the truck or fix the car, and then she just fell over and started having a seizure. That's what the parents were telling me. And the son was like, no, no, that's not what happened. So I got conflicting like stories with everybody. I was trying to weed through all of everything to find the truth, like what really happened to her. And the doctors and the investigators and everybody in the room, they were telling me, they were talking, but I couldn't hear what they were saying because I could see their lips moving. I couldn't hear the words that were coming out of their mouths. It was so like, it was silence, but I was screaming inside at the same time. And when the doctor said, we did all we can do, I lost it.
Wow.
I lost it. And that memory just replayed in my mind over and over. And I called my husband and I called my dad and I let them know. And my husband rushed up there to the hospital because I couldn't do it. I could not be there by myself and without him to walk in there to our daughter. And it was like everything was in slow motion. And it was so hard to just even walk in the room. My body did not want to walk in that room. I made myself walk in there. And that is something that I just will never, ever, ever forget. The look on my baby's face is so freaking hard to get over that. But after everything, we've had people coming and telling us stuff, just evil things like your child didn't die. She killed herself because she smoked fentanyl. She wasn't smoking fentanyl. It was fentanyl laced marijuana. Her toxicology came back. That's what's in her system. They've bashed my daughter. They've bashed me. It's like we have this movement, and inside this movement, we have all of these broken people. And it makes a beautiful picture. We all have something to bring. And yet inside of this movement, we have people that want to discredit. And it's a movement that's already stigmatized enough. And inside that, there we are. We're in the middle. We've got people denying the facts. If it didn't kill my daughter, then she would be here right now. It was a mistake, and she paid the ultimate price, and we all have been paying that price. And being around people that are hurting. I understand hurt people. A lot of people don't understand the science of it. They don't understand the possibilities of it. And just because they've never seen it, they don't believe it. I feel like people need to have more of an open mind, because things that are impossible happen every day. And it's just really hard to be in a group while people are already hurt, and then we have people inside of the group hurting those people even more. I wanted to say that I feel like we have laws in place for a reason. We have law enforcement for a reason. In Spartanburg County, we have had one out of so many families. We've only had one conviction, and it was a plea deal. And it went from like 25 years and down to, I think she served 3 years. They just released her, and she is responsible for the 2 people's deaths. She was only arrested for one of the people's deaths, not the second person. And they actually passed away at the same time. But our sheriff, they don't want to use the funds that they have, the resources they have, to help prevent this and or investigate the people that are actually needing. I'm sorry, if a child passes away, that's an investigation. That's a really thorough investigation, you know. Not just children, anybody really.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard there's just so much. I've tried to let go of that anger, that frustration, because it was doing nothing but killing me from the inside out. And I was holding on to so much, not just the grief. And I feel like everything else is actually what caused me to be depressed, because I felt defeated. Nobody believed me. Nobody believed that my child passed away from this. And it's just hard to live it and have someone tell you that it's not so.
Yeah, it's we talked about that off air, and a lot of people have these theories and, you know, don't have a clue of what you and many others are going through, especially the loss of a child. And you know, you knew Gabby better than anyone. Your sister knew her better than anyone. And this happened. And for them to just throw out stories that are not anything, you know, close to being the type of person she is, it's just frustrating. It's like you're fighting another war along with fighting the war with your love and grief, which Paul and I always talk about, and a few friends. The grieving part in loving someone is just it's just a compound type of stress, you know. It's just
Yes.
and so, but I really appreciate your story and what you're telling us, because for both of you to be here on the air and talking about the story, your stories, there's someone else that wants to do exactly what you're doing now, just doesn't have the confidence to do it. So thank you.
And I think one of the things too is that people need to understand is it's kind of like what you just said, right? It's hard enough that we've lost our children to this unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And your daughter Gabby was how old?
She had just turned 17.
So Gabby was 17. And then to have people, like you just said, who have the effing balls
Yep.
to sit there and tell us, well, that's not how they passed away. You need to tell the truth.
Yeah.
We understand that you're grieving and your mental state is not correct, but you need to tell the truth. I can tell you right now, and this is one thing you're going to know about me, and Charlie says this all the time, and my husband and so many who know me, I will throat punch someone because I'm just like, yes, I'm like, I might only be 5 feet tall, but come at me. Because
it's funny because I say that all the time.
Charlie, I found my spirit sister.
That's it.
See?
That is hilarious.
And and I think that one of the biggest things is we have to be here for each other, right? We have to be here for each other. We have to let each other know that although there are people out there who are, and excuse the term, but assholes, because that's exactly what they are. Because the science speaks for itself.
Yes.
Again, here in Maine, and I don't think you know about this because you're in South Carolina, correct? Yeah. We've had a couple of busts here of pretty big facilities in Maine of businessmen who were just busted for spraying the marijuana with pesticides. And then last year it was another big bust. Charlie, you remember, the DEA, FBI, ATF, everybody was in Maine. And it was because of the synthetics that they were spraying onto the marijuana. So again, it baffles me that you're hearing about marijuana being sprayed with pesticides, with synthetics, with so many other things. How the hell are you going to say it can't be sprayed with fentanyl?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you totally an idiot? Because do we have to go back to science 101? Charlie, I think that's what we need to do. We need to have class next week and bring everybody on and go back to chemistry 101.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, again, and just to let you know, and I know you don't know this, but Charlie is a former police officer, law enforcement. Charlie knows that this is happening. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And that's why you will never have anyone come on this podcast telling us that, because he'll knock them out. Okay.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah.
Because again, former law enforcement, he saw this, right? He knows it's to be facts.
Yeah.
So when you have people out there who are so, enthralled in making their wrong a right, well, no, that's where we have to stick together and we have to, come at them and we have to let them know, no, you're wrong. It's kind of like I said, I had this conversation with someone today, and this is what I said to them. And Charlie, you're going to appreciate this. I said, so you're going to sit here and tell me that marijuana can't be laced with fentanyl, whether cross-contamination or because they've sprayed it on. Is that what you're telling me? And they kind of like, just listen. And I said, okay, so now I'm going to tell you, and this person was a former law enforcement also. I said, well, now I'm going to tell you that when you sent your officers to a homicide, that someone was just shot with a gun, then apparently that person didn't get killed from the gun. It's fictitious.
Yeah.
That bullet didn't kill that person. It's the same concept.
Yep.
And I understand that a lot of people are saying, because marijuana is legal, it's legal here in Massachusetts. But just because it's legal does not mean that they're not doing things to continue to have these folks go back to it and then be addicted. And they're making it even stronger. They're putting xylazine in it, as you know, and I know, and Charlie knows, because our son, when the ME report came back, it was fentanyl and xylazine. It was both. So he didn't have a chance if Narcan was around. Because as we all know, xylazine is not an opioid. You know, it's an animal tranquilizer. So when people continue to put in their misfacts, we can't stop talking about the facts, and the facts is science. And this is our children, right? Gabby is your child. Andrew is my child. No one's going to come at us and tell us any different about our children. And yes, it gets tiring. Yes, you do feel defeated. Trust me. I know. But one thing I can tell you is that the army of parents that we have who we can rely on, and as you've seen, if they come after one, they come after all.
Yes. I can attest to that. I see it every day.
Yes.
Every day.
I'm glad that you all continue to connect with each other. It's very, very important. But feel free that anytime you want to add someone to the podcast, it may be just a day that you're talking to someone and you just say, hey, let's bring this conversation to fentanyl facts and stories. Let's reach out to Paula and Charlie and see if we can come on and talk about it. We can get up to 10 people on the screen. So,
we definitely need to pack it out.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
What would you like to say about Gabby? And by the way, I just saw your handsome son walking by. What a cutie patootie.
Thank you.
You're supposed to walk by and put rabbit ears in the back of your head like that, you know?
I want to add to what Paula just said. I had a mom contact. She said she spoke to an actual marijuana dealer, and they take the powder precursor and mix it with the water that the plants grow in. It's actually grown inside of the plant.
Yeah.
Hydroponics. I was studying hydroponics and had no idea why I was studying hydroponics. But that is people, but they'd rather just say no. I think the reason why is because they'd rather hold on to that addiction. They're not willing to part with it. They don't want to hear. It's like you're revealing something to them, and they're just like, no, I don't want to see it, because
just blocking it out. Yep.
Right.
Putting some blinders on it. It's too bad, but just as an idea is new, like today, whatever they're doing to get their drug out, it's a new idea. But just as fast as it's a new idea, it becomes an old idea because someone's trying to up it and do something different and as they say, better or quicker high or what. So there's always someone trying to experiment with something, but it doesn't get any less deadlier. It just gets more addictive. And now that you're saying that it's being grown within the plants at its very infancy, how do you stop that? How do you stop that other than just saying don't use or just don't use? And we know that's not true. It is, whether it's recreational or addiction, it's just the war against drugs it's just a joke. There's no such thing. Just as we inhale and exhale, is also, someone doing something to just to get that high, no matter what it is. And in both your cases, your children were poisoned, and that's sad. it's the tragedy of this all. Um, and please, both of you, I hope that you're journaling all this. It's very, very important. The reason why I'm saying that you journal it is because there may be a time that you may not want to speak up anymore, but at least you're journaling it for someone else to read and talk about it. Um, but with you too, I don't think you're ever going to stop. But I think the journal is very important. Even though you have great intelligence, great memories, just journal it. It's a good reflection for someone else that may be reading it, if you
Well,
allow them to.
That's because grief is hard. That's what
Yeah.
people don't understand. Grief
Mhm.
is hard. Grief is exhausting. Grief is waking up every day, putting on a mask, and having to face a society. And we were just talking about that on the cell phone today, having to face a society that tells you you're supposed to move on because it's been a certain amount of time. And that's not how grief works. Because grief is love that has nowhere to go. But someone said to me not too long ago, well, it's been 3 years. Just this March was 3 years. And I said, so did I only love my son for 3 years?
Right.
I loved my son for 33 years that he was here on earth, and I continue to love him because I'm still his mom and his dad is still his dad, just like with you. We don't stop being their parents, and they don't stop being our children. Even though we cannot see them in the physical sense, we know that they are around us.
You have daily reminders, right? You
Yeah.
have reminders all around you. And even if it's just traveling, you just have so many reminders. So it can never stop. But yeah, absolutely right, Paula.
Well, because I think that this is why we do this, right? And this is why I so appreciate you coming on, and a brand new angel mom that now, we are partnering with, because again, when you continue to have people who are so ignorant to parents who have lost a child, and listen, and I'm going to give you credit because you first came and you said, I forgive that person. I can tell you, I am not there.
Yeah. It takes so much time.
Yes.
July the 19th will be our 5-year anniversary without her.
And I know that, and I know that, God and Jesus are like, okay, Paula, I get that. But you know what? But they also know us, right?
Yes.
They know us. They know what we're going to say, when we're not going to say it, how we're going to say it. They know our path before we walk it.
Yes.
So sometimes it's okay to say, I'm not there, because in our case, we only know the person's name that gave Andrew the blunt, that he had texted him and said he had gotten it from the dispensary.
Oof.
We don't actually know him, but we know that he was in a very toxic relationship with someone who, well, I won't say, but anyway. And all I have to say to that is I commend you. I commend you, because I think that's the hardest walk for many of us parents, is that when there isn't justice, right? And we know that we're supposed to be good stewards. I mean, look, we had Michael Fiore on here. I don't know if you know him.
Love him.
Okay, he was on here. Friggin' love Michael. And and Michael talked about it. Michael was a drug dealer, right? Michael was an addict. Michael did all these things, and now he is doing God's work.
That's right. And
there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. If anything, I commend him, and I wish that there was a Michael in every single state.
That's right.
Because, but when there isn't, there's us.
Yes. Yes.
And that's where I think that just coming together, and sometimes, and even letting other parents know, because you said this also in the beginning, there's parents who do not want to come and speak because of, they know the hate that they're going to have thrown at them.
Yes. Yeah.
But as you saw in the chain that we connected,
Yes.
when a certain person came on, well, there was a lot said to that person. And again, we're just, we're not here to tell you did not lose Gabby in the manner you lost her unexpectedly. We're not here. I will never tell a parent you did not lose your child in that manner, because the moment I do that, then I am, and I know you're probably going to hate this, but then I should be working for Satan, because that's his work.
Accuser.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think that, what you're doing, please know that so many are listening and they so appreciate you coming on and talking about her. Because again, do you have a picture?
I do.
Show us a picture, because I saw her. I mean, I see her on Facebook, but everybody else doesn't.
My baby.
But look at that.
That's
look at how gorgeous.
Wow. Beautiful.
Absolutely
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
And then this is her.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I can tell you right now that my son has probably spoken to her. Just letting you know. Okay.
Can't hold it against him.
Yeah.
And I know that his dad, my husband's listening, and he's like, "Yep, oh, absolutely, yes." And he's probably like, he didn't have a sister, so he's like, I'm protecting her. Charlie knows, because that's how he was. But yes, I mean, is there anything that you'd like to say? I mean, we have another 15 minutes, but is there anything you'd like to say just in reference to what do you, if Jesus were to come here, I love to say this. I say this all the time. I said this to someone last week in a meeting on Thursday. If Jesus were to come here tomorrow, what would you ask of him? And I will tell you that I know even if we could, our children would not come back to us, because they are in so much of a better life and world than what we are here.
Yes. Honestly,
yes.
If he was to come here, I would say, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And that's where my heart is. It took me a long time to get there. It wasn't me. He did it. It had nothing to do with me. I was hanging on by the hem of his garment. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't tie my shoe by myself. I still can't tie my shoe by myself. I want to tell the mothers and fathers something. I want to tell you something, Paula. I commend you, because you're sitting here saying stuff about me. Honey, you are an inspiration. You are 3 years. Honey, I'm 5 years. I wasn't able to get out of the bed. I couldn't. My mind was so noisy, and my nerves were so shot. But God, and I think that you're doing what you and Charlie are doing is amazing. We need this connection. I feel like technology has taken that from us. Used to be, we would sit out and have conversations for hours and hours with our family, friends, and just sit at a picnic table and actually discuss life, things that are going on, things that are important. We don't have these discussions because everybody's behind a TV or a computer screen. And we've lost intimacy. We need that intimacy back. We need the bonds back. We need to find a way to be kind and courteous. And if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. We need to learn how to surround ourselves with love. We need to love on ourselves and love others. I've met some of the most wonderful, beautiful souls in this movement that have changed my life. I can't repay them for paving the way so bravely, and just bringing everyone together and not keeping the skeletons in the closet. We need this. Our communities need this. Our country needs this. And we need to look out for one another and love on one another. My favorite thing is I tell the kids every single day, do all things with love. And I believe that everybody has their own healing journey. And I just pray that other parents find peace that surpasses all understanding. And I'm not sure why I received it, but I'm so glad. Now saying that, I still grieve my daughter occasionally. I went for, I want to say 2.5, 3 years before I could look at a picture of her, before I could touch her belongings, before I could even talk about her, because I couldn't. The words just ran down my face in the form of tears, and it was hard to even go to the grocery store, But parents need to learn how to give themselves the grace that they need to get through this, stop feeling pressured or allowing other people's perceptions to be placed on them. I love this movement. I love what you've done. I think that you're amazing. Y'all are really, really amazing people. I had to watch your podcast before I started last night, girl. I'm so happy to find y'all. I think Gabby would be proud of me, really, honestly. She's helped me grow. With the Most High used her to teach me lessons. And most of them were about love. We need more love. I feel like the all of this, the drugs and everything, it's a heart problem. It's a heart problem. It's greed. It's, it's disgusting. But the world just needs more love in it. And I'm so glad that I found you guys.
I'm real happy that I met you today, and feel free to reach out. Need someone to talk to, get connected with me on Facebook. I gladly do what I can for you. And like I said, you have an open invitation. Please don't let this be the first and last time that you come on this podcast. Come on again. Bring a friend. Bring a few friends. But clearly, this is part of your home, part of your club, the family that you guys have. So, if you can tell a fentanyl story, please, come on board. It's so important.
It really is.
I love your story because I will tell you, and now I'm going to make you laugh. So I can say to you that if Jesus came, he would say to me, how many freaking guardian angels do I have to keep replacing for you? Because I'm the one that says we all need to throat punch these people. So how are we going to make that happen? Like universally.
That's me. That's me in a nutshell before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's still me now. That's the thing. That's still me now, and it will probably always be. And this is why I think Jesus is like, oh, Lord, again? Like, what are we going to do with her? But I think with me, and I thank you for your beautiful, heartfelt words. But with me, and my husband says this, and Charlie has said it because Charlie's family, and a lot of parents have said this, if I were not doing this, I would be 6 feet under.
Mhm.
I would absolutely be 6 feet under. Because what keeps me going is the fact that every time we do this, we are saving a life. We might not see it, but because we're, making people aware of everything that fentanyl is in, from the vape pens to the gummy bears to the marijuana, and yes, again, it continues to be in a pill. Yes, the Xanax, the Percocets, the Vicodins. Yes, that they're getting on Snapchat and all the other, platforms off of social media. But please understand that it's still happening. And like you said, with the marijuana, in the taking the fentanyl, I just sent a whole bunch of stuff to you. I text you. That is from the chemical scientist that sent all of that to me, because they have created fentanyl into a solvent. So what you're saying is absolutely true. So when you're creating it into a solvent, you're creating it into a liquid. So therefore the liquid can be sprayed onto the leaves. It can be put into the ground that it's growing, or it can be sprayed onto the joint. When they found our son, and Charlie knows this story, he was found under a gazebo in the apartment complex. He lived in Maryland because he was there coaching. And they found 3 things: his phone, his wallet, and more than a half smoked marijuana joint. So it wasn't even half smoked, because as soon as he put it to his lips, the fentanyl intoxicate, as came into his system, and the xylazine, and even if someone had Narcan, they would have not brought him back. And this is what people don't, think before you speak. And Charlie and I have actually had people on our podcast. One of them who was a former dealer here in Boston, and he said it. He said, "Of course we're doing it, because we're doing it for the money. We're not sitting there asking what you're putting in our supply. We're just going to the street corner and selling it. We don't care. And if we kill you, well, we're going to get more people because of that." So when you hear these things that are actually happening, but yet you have some folks who are continuing to say, well, when it gets to a certain temperature. So you're going to sit here and tell me that you're sitting next to that dealer and you're taking a temperature? Get the F out of here.
Yeah.
Stop. And what are you going to say? You're going to say that all these medical examiners across the United States where these cases have happened, they're all lying?
Right.
Come on, enough. And I understand that people have said, the cannabis industry gives a lot of money to the states. I get that, because here in Massachusetts, the cannabis industry last year put $4.5 billion into the Massachusetts economy. Okay, great, $4.5 billion. And in Denver, it gives a lot more, in other states where it is now legal. But you know what it's not doing? Is that if you do go to the dispensary, you are safer than going here. The problem is that when you go to the dispensary, you're paying $25, $20 for a joint, but on here, I'm going to get it for $5.
Right.
So that's the other issue that people are apparently not thinking, and this is why they go to their phones. And the emojis that are being sent, that the parents don't understand that a palm tree, a basketball, a base, they all mean something. And it's not what you think. So this is why we tell people all the time on this podcast, regardless of who we're speaking to, talk to your children, talk to your family. Do not take anything. I don't care if you know them. My son knew the person. And again, if it's not coming from your pharmacist, your doctor, and if it's not coming from a dispensary, do not take it. Because unfortunately, you will be getting the call that you and I got. And this is not what we want.
At all.
Right. And when we speak, we're speaking for the parents who haven't lost a child.
That's exactly right.
Mm.
This
Yep.
has nothing to do with our children. This has everything to do with everyone else's children that's still here. We're trying to save. We're trying to help facilitate some type of way to get the
Prevent
message out and prevent this, and not just that. I know so many people that have overcome addiction. They have been, there's people they're doing things that are so wonderful. I that is like the biggest accomplishment. Look, if my daughter was here and saw these people and saw them successfully walking away and throwing down those shackles, she would be ecstatic. And I just want to love on these people. We're all broken. We all need love. But that right there, like, oh my gosh, that is the biggest to me anyways, because I lost my older sister and then I lost my younger sister, not to the same things, but we all need love. It's all mental health. We need to get back to mental health and loving on people. And yeah, I can't thank y'all enough.
Oh, you're welcome. And we want to thank you.
And it's kind of like you said, the stigma, right? Because the stigma continues to be,
Yes.
even in the medical facility, because we hear it and we see it all the time all over Facebook with many of our, wonderful parents who are working in the recovery industry. It's having that person go to the hospital and the doctor's turning them away, or they're saying it's just another addict. Well, what about the deaths that we're having where they weren't addicts and they tried it for the first time? Or because, again, even if they are suffering from substance use, and we say this all the time, they are still human. They deserve to be loved and cared for.
Yes.
So it's right. And Charlie, we've talked about this how many times with so many people, the mental health
It comes up almost every show,
Yes, the mental health of the world. I mean, right now you turn on the news and everybody is facing PTSD almost every day because of what's being put out into those screens. And it's like you said, if we're not going to be here to support each other as we should, and as we should try to, I say it all the time, being kind is free.
Yes. Yes. Every day, every single day, I wake up and I tell myself I have a chance and a choice. We have a chance to treat others with dignity. We have a choice. We have to make that. Like, that needs to be like normalized. We need to start treating people better.
Absolutely.
You never know what
true.
someone else is going through, I've had people look at me like I'm absolutely bat crazy, because I'm crying somewhere because I saw a flower or a butterfly, or, people think that you're mentally insane. When you lose your child, people don't understand the chemicals in your brain. You actually receive brain damage from losing your child. It's brain damage. It'll never go back. It's always going to be there. And it's really hard to have people look down upon you when you're trying your very best to just breathe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have people like Charlie, who is a family friend and who gives nothing but unconditional love and compassion, and doesn't have to, but has chosen to, and has, told people off in the street when they're telling him, well, that's not true. And he's like, I'm not the one, and again, you talked about it. It's having your tribe, having your people. I was told something the other day, and we actually had her on our show, Pastor Veronica. I love her. She's amazing. And she kind of just asked me, she said, how are things in your town? And I said, I do more outside of this town. And she goes, Paula, just remember, the disciples were not wanted in their towns either. They went out with Jesus, and then they came back, and everybody in the town wanted to hear their message. And sometimes we need to hear those things, as you know, to keep us going.
Yes, definitely. I have to recite the Serenity Prayer every single day. Mm-hmm. And there's so many verses that it just keeps me going. I have to, and you know what? That's crazy that you just said that, because when my daughter passed away, we lived in our home for 12 years or 11 years at that point. And I was having issues, and I was like, I just felt like I couldn't be there anymore. I had to move. I had to go see something different, do something, be somewhere else. You know what? He put it in my spirit. He said, I'll put you where I want you. And I was like, okay, put me where you want me, put me where you want me. Is of course not going to be where I want to go, not on an island somewhere, but, we have to, I guess I've been trying to embrace the fact of not leaving here, even though I'd rather be somewhere else, but people need you where you are. People need you. And, you may be the only light that is there in that town. You might be the only person. So if you're not there, then how dark is that? Yeah, believe me, if I could go, I'd be on an island right now. But I'm not supposed to be. I'm not meant to be. I'm supposed to be where he placed me, right here with y'all.
Yes. Right where you are. Yes. Telling your story, talking about your beautiful daughter who is still around you every day. And even though you can't see her, this was said to me, even though you can't see them, they're just in a different room, but they're right there with you every day.
Oh, she's the greatest part of who I am.
That's sweet.
I love that.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't offer it any more than what I have is just come back and join us and tell the same story, tell a different story. I don't care what it is, but just come back to this podcast and honor us with your presence, and feel free to invite anybody else that you want to come on and do that, because we don't want anybody to be silenced. And if they need to be heard, they need to come on this podcast.
I think a lot of people that don't have the strength right now to come out and actually be vocal about it. I just think about myself when I was at their point in their grief, and sometimes it takes people a little bit longer than others. Sometimes they just need a key. They need someone to unlock their prison. So y'all are doing that. And I try to do that every day. Grief is hard, but we don't have to do it alone.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We offered our call-in number we have. So if someone just doesn't want to come on the screen, they can call in. And also, with StreamYard, we can, you can come on without showing your face and just talk, So there's a lot of options that are available to come on the podcast.
We're going to be working on getting some more parents on.
Yeah, it's very important.
To have like a kind of like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, Zoom.
Let me tell you, the Brady Bunch had their crap together, okay? Because who would have thought the Brady Bunch would have been our Zoom calls today?
That is right. Oh my God.
Yes,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh, how is that possible?
Mhm.
The Matrix.
Yeah, you know, I say that all the time that we're in a different universe. I'm telling you, yeah, we are definitely in a different universe sometimes, that's for sure. But thank you so much for coming on. I so appreciate you, Charlie, and I do.
Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah, and thank you for telling your beautiful story of your lovely, beautiful, absolutely amazing Gabby. I mean, I didn't know her, but I can feel her presence, just, you know, that she was someone who just lit up the room and made everyone smile, and would probably also tell you about yourself in a minute.
All the time.
Mhm.
All the time.
Yeah. So, and please know that, you know, as grieving parents, we have to be here for each other, because really we're the only ones that really understand our pain and our brokenness to the complexity that we do. And when we have wonderful people like Charlie and so many others who come and reach out their hand, you know, that matters.
It really does.
It makes a huge difference, because until today, you and I did not even know each other.
Right.
But
Great.
Charlie knows I'm always bringing people onto podcast. He's like, how do you do it? I'm like, well, it's just, you know,
Charlie's Angels.
oh my
That's
God,
it.
Charlie, there you go. Oh, listen, he was happy last week because he had two blondes on. Okay.
Yeah, it was
So
like
he was in his glory. See, we were missing you. We were missing you last week.
high
What's
school.
funny is I have 3 biological daughters. The first one was brunette, the second one was blonde, and the third one is a redhead. So I always said, they're Michael's angels.
Yes.
There you
Yeah.
go. I love that. I
That's
love
it.
that.
Michael loved that. Well, like me, I always had, 4 females in the house. So
Bless you.
I suffered. I had PMS every day of the week, out of the month rather.
Thank
It
you,
happens.
Donna. Thank
That's
you
a
for
lot of
your
love,
kind
though.
words.
Yeah,
And
that's
thank
my.
you. And any day you want to come on, please come on. So Donna Grace just made a comment, Charlie, for both of you to see.
Let's see. Let's put it up here.
I don't know if you
Thank
can
you,
put it
Charlie.
on
Ladies,
really
come
quick,
back.
because I know we're going over an hour.
Very informative.
Yes.
And sorry for your loss. Yes. Thank you, Don. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. The comments are very, very needed. And please, everyone, share this podcast. It's very, very important. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on YouTube. We also we're live on Twitch and Facebook Live. So occasionally I'll take the audio from this and I'll put it on Spotify, and we're also on Spotify. So, but you can catch us every week, Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and feel free to join us. We also have a call-in number that you can call in. All right, ladies, thank you for joining me, and I really, really appreciate it. Um, let's let's get connected on Facebook and keep in touch.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you so
All right.
much. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank
All
you,
right,
everyone.
thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. All right, everyone. Fentanyl facts and stories. Before I wanna close with this advertisement that I have. It's the R&B Winter Thaw, Friday, April 11th at the Vault, downtown New Bedford, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Doors open at 6:15, featuring 3 outstanding guests, which would be Shaquan Davis, Kim Tavares, and Kevin Robertson. They're also going to be honoring Michael Consaccio for decades of community service. Feel free. The tickets are $25. There's also table 4, which is the high standing chairs, and table where you can have you and 3 of your friends. Check it out. And let me see. I'll try to get this out of the way. You can purchase your tickets at Sayers Boutique, which is on William Street, downtown New Bedford. And let's see. Also, there's one. Oh, in the vault, they have them. You can go to the vault at certain times, which is once I get this fentanyl facts and stories out of the way, I can read it. But you can also go to the vault Wednesday through Saturday, 2 p.m. to looks like 7 p.m. All right. So feel free. Good event. My friend Carl Pies is involved in it, so you know it's going to be special. Great sounding music. And these artists, 2 of them I do know and heard. So I'm pretty sure all 3 of them are going to be pretty good. All right. So that's April 11th, Friday at the Vault. All right, everyone. I will see you later. And this is probably about the last time you're probably going to hear the Really Charlie podcast song by Lionel Peter Walker. I'm working on a new one, and it will be ready by next Tuesday. Actually, tomorrow you'll hear it for the last time probably. So, all right. Take care, everyone. God bless, and I will see you later. See you tomorrow. Around 7 o'clock p.m., I'll be on the Really Charlie podcast. God bless.
It's the Really Charlie podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.